Ryan, congratulations. You must be feeling really good after that performance.
Yeah, it was all right. And like I say, there was nothing too special. I think under the sort of biggest of pressure that I performed my best. Obviously, the second set, it was 2-2. I had a little bit of a blind moment when I could have won the set, and he made it 2-2. And yeah, to hit an 11-dart leg to win the second set was massive, because if he wins that set and makes it 1-1, he sort of gets the momentum back with him. So yeah, to win the set like I did was really good.
A lot of players really struggle with their opening round matches, but you've never lost your opening match here at Alexandra Palace. Have you cracked the code?
I don't know.
What's the secret?
I was thinking about that on the way here, and I've had some, what you could say, half decent draws and not so decent draws, and I was only saying to my son that about winning and the prize money that brings with winning your first game, and try not to jinx myself basically. And yeah, I've kind of always found a way to win my first game, which is good.
And you've reached the last 16 on 3 occasions. Are you already looking to make it 4, or are you just taking it game by game for now?
Yeah, try and take it game by game. You can't look past the opponent you're playing next, but it's no secret that I want to try and make it quarter-final at least, and see where we go from there basically.
Best of luck.
Ryan, congratulations. You touched on there that block of not getting to a quarter-final here at Alexandra Palace. Can you put your finger on why that hasn't happened? Because you played some beautiful stuff and then just it's not quite happened.
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, last year I felt like I was playing really well, and I ran into Ryan Joyce. I averaged 101.5, I think, and 50% of my doubles, and I lost. And there's plenty of people that played a lot worse than that got further than me, and that's part of the luck of the draw. And Ryan Joyce was the only one last year that got close to Littler, so that sort of proves how well he was playing last year. And it's just one of those, you've got to sort of take it on the chin and move forward. I'm not, like I said, I need to try and care a bit more about things. It's just my personality. I don't really care too much, but I'm always trying my hardest when I get on the stage.
You seem super relaxed though, even in the build-up and so on. Is this the most relaxed that you felt coming to Ali Pali?
Yeah, probably. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I feel the butterflies when I'm sort of driving up the hill here, and it's probably one of the only tournaments where I sort of feel that, you're playing so much on the big stage at the European tours that you kind of become a bit numb to playing on the big stage in front of big crowds and stuff. So, yeah, this one's obviously the one you want to win.
On the 95, did you not think it was in the treble 19?
No, I thought that was a single. That's why, obviously, I threw. It was a bit wild. It's miles off the board, and yeah, and he obviously won that leg. And if he had went on and broke me in the next and made it 1-1, it's a completely different game. But I think I did well to compose myself after that moment and have a good leg to win the set. Cheers.
Well done, Ryan. You talk about that sort of carefree attitude, and it's something you spoke about a fair bit. What is your motivation then going into these tournaments? What motivates you to do well?
So my main motivation is just to provide a good life for my family, basically. And, fortunate enough with the PDC now where you don't have to be Luke Humphries or Littler to, make a good amount of money and make a real comfortable life for your family. And, that's basically my main goal.
And you talk about the practice in the lead up to this. How much work have you been able to put in on the practice board with the motivation levels?
To be honest, I've not really. I would like to have penciled in a few dates with Gary for a practice, but we've not managed that. We've both had a few exhibitions to do and stuff, and we've not managed to have a practice. And me and Luke Humphries have been playing Call of Duty together every night pretty much, and that's taken. It's probably not good. It's taken not more priority, but it's. You need to sort of find that balance between practice and sort of chilling, and we've been playing some Call of Duty and having a laugh, and that's what I enjoy really.
You spoke about quarter-final being the real aim here at Alexandra Palace. Why did you sort of decide on quarter-final? Why not a semi-final?
Well, I think because I've never made a quarter before. I've made the last 16 a couple of times, and I've fallen at the last 32 a few times in some pretty dodgy games, and yeah. So if I can make the last 8, that'd be a big step for me.
Ryan, well done on the win. Just on that attitude that you've got, where you said that you don't really care that much, are you happy being like that, or is that something that you'd want to change?
I don't know if I'm happy about it, to be honest. I think because I know how well I can play, and sometimes on the floor I prove how well I can play. I don't show it as much on the big stage as what I feel that I can. That's something I need to work on. But like I say, you don't have to be Littler or Humphries to make a good living from the game now, and I'm fairly happy with that.
And do you think that mindset comes from your background? Because you used to be a window cleaner, and now you can earn hundreds of thousands of pounds just from playing darts. Whereas in other sports like Formula One or golf, these kids are almost bred into the sport, and it's all they ever know.
Yeah. Like I said, I was putting my Christmas lights up on my gutter in a couple of days ago, and I was thinking, I'm glad my hands were cold on the ladder, and I'm thinking I don't miss this at all. So like I say, you don't have to be Humphries or Littler to make a great living from this game, and it's something mentally that I need to work on, and I feel that if I play my game at 100%, then I'm a match for anyone.
And is that the plan for next year, to try and do something different?
That's the plan for this tournament, really. I'm trying to sort of kick myself out the backside and make myself more committed and try and perform the way that I know I can, and hopefully that happens.
Congratulations, Ryan. Was it a perfect opponent for you, Chris Landman, there? Because you kind of, your styles meshed, don't they?
Yeah, I said that before the game, that me and him, he plays really fast, and, I don't like to hang around. We both throw at a decent pace. We both get our darts out of the board at a decent pace and walk back behind each other at a decent time. And I just feel like that's the way darts should be played. You get players that like to hang around getting the darts out of the board and walk back slowly and stuff like that. And, that's not something that's in my game. And no matter if I'm playing really bad or I'm playing really well, that's something that I'll always stay the same at.
And how do you assess your season to date?
I'll just put it as another solid season, basically. Obviously, I've won 2 Pro Tours this year for the first time ever. But it's hard when, I think the majors is the only thing that I'm kind of missing decent runs in, but it's hard. I ran into Littler first round at the match play, and he averages 109, basically. I think it was a second, one of the top 5 averages ever at the match play, behind Phil Taylor and MVG, and it's tough. And, I ran into 110 average from Van Veen at the European finals, and, a good performance from Gezi at the Grand Prix. He basically gave me the first set, and then the 2 sets after that, I think he played fantastic. Especially the last set, he averaged over 100, and double start, that's hard to beat. So yeah, like I say, I think the floor is, I'm pretty good when it comes to the floor, but I need to figure out how to win more games at majors and see where we go from there.
And what will you do now in the break between first and second round?
So my partner's going to drive me home tonight. Hopefully she doesn't crash my car into some mopeds or something on the way back. And then just finish Christmas shopping off. Hopefully Gary will win tomorrow, and whether we can pencil in a little practice session in the week and before we come back. So I know he's playing the 23rd next, I think, and I'm playing the 20th. So if we can have a little session before then, that'd be good. But if not, I'll just have a few sessions by myself. And like I say, it's more about confidence than practice. And with the new darts, I'm feeling pretty good.
Well done, Ryan.
Cheers.